Good morning, friends. Welcome back. I'm here to do calendar with you today, and then I found something special outside in our yard this morning when I got to school. And then I'm going to read one of our favorite Robert Munch books, just to switch it up a little bit. So let's start with our calendar. We're still in the month of April with our little umbrellas. Sometimes it's super rainy in April because we need to bring our May flowers. So let's start at number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Number 14, today's April 14th. It's something special today. It's our friend Willem's birthday, so let's say happy birthday, Willem. And on the weekend was Easter. We weren't here to celebrate with you, but I hope everyone had a happy Easter with families. Okay, and our days of the week. Let's sing our song. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, yesterday was Monday. Today is Tuesday. And tomorrow will be Wednesday. We'll be halfway through our week. And for our weather today, we're still in spring. We haven't said bye to spring yet, and hello summer. And today, it's a little cool. It's not as warm as it was the other few days, and it's cloudy. We're supposed to be getting some snow. I don't know who ordered it, but we do not like snow in springtime. We said bye to winter, so hopefully that doesn't stay. So I was looking out in our yard today when I got to school, and I saw something on the ground that I thought was pretty cool. So I went outside to see, and I found this. So this is a beehive that had probably fallen out of our tree. But I thought it was pretty cool that the bees had made such a big nest. So I wanted to share it with you. So I'm going to leave that there. I thought it was pretty cool that bees can make such a big hive. And for our book today, one of our favorite Robert Munch books that we love to read together is our Alligator Baby. And I know some of our friends have had new babies in their houses, so I thought it would be a good idea to read this one today, and it's really funny. So Alligator Baby. One night, Kristen's mother woke up and yelled, "A baby, I'm having a baby." Kristen's father jumped up, zoomed around the room, got dressed, and grabbed Kristen's mother by the hand. They ran downstairs to the car and drove off really fast. Vroom. Unfortunately, they got lost. They didn't go to the hospital, they went to the zoo. But it was okay. Kristen's mother had a lovely baby. Then they drove home and knocked on the front door. Blam, 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 blam. Kristen opened the door, and there was her mother holding something all wrapped up. "Kristen," she said, "would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes," said Kristen. So Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket. She saw a long green tail and said, "That's not a people tail." Kristen lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a green claw, and said, "That's not a people claw." Kristen lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a green face with lots of teeth, and said, "That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," her mother said, "don't be jealous." Just then the baby reached up and bit Kristen's mother on the nose. She yelled, "Ah!" Then the baby reached up and bit her father on the nose. He yelled, "Ah! That's not a people baby." Kristen said, "That's an alligator baby." "Goodness," said her mother, "we've got the wrong baby." Ouch. So Kristen put the alligator into the fish tank, and her mother and father drove back to the zoo. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. Blam, 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 blam. Kristen opened the door, and her mother said, "Would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes," said Kristen. Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket, saw a fishy tail, and said, "That's not a people tail." Kristen lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a flipper, and said, "That's not a people flipper." Kristen lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a face with whiskers, and said, "That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous." Just then the baby reached up with its flipper and flapped her father's face. Whap, 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 whap. He yelled, "Ah, it's a seal baby. We've got the wrong baby." So Kristen put the seal baby in the bathtub, and her mother and father drove back to the zoo. Uh-oh. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. Blam, 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 blam. They said, "Kristen, would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes," said Kristen. She lifted up the bottom of the blanket, saw a very hairy leg, and said, "That's not a people leg." She lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a very hairy arm, and said, "That's not a people arm." She lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a very hairy face, and said, "That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous." Then the baby reached up with its feet, grabbed her mother's ear and her father's ear, and they both yelled, "Ah, it's a gorilla baby. We've got the wrong baby." "Let me do it," said Kristen. So her mother and father put the gorilla baby on the chandelier in the living room, and Kristen went off to the zoo on her bicycle. First, Kristen looked in the snake cage. No people babies. Then Kristen looked in the wombat cage. No people babies. Then Kristen looked in the elephant cage. No people babies. Then she stopped and listened. From afar she heard, "Wah, wah, wah." "That's more like it," said Kristen. She followed the sound. It was coming from the gorilla cage. Uh-oh. Kristen looked at the mummy gorilla and said, "Give me my baby brother." The gorilla jumped away and wouldn't give the baby back at all. Then the people baby reached up and bit the gorilla on the nose, and the gorilla yelled, "Ah!" and handed the baby back to Kristen. Kristen jumped on her bicycle and pedaled home. Kristen knocked on the door. Blam, 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 blam. When her parents opened it, she said, "Would you like to see your new baby?" Kristen's mother lifted up the bottom of the blanket and said, "Look, people legs." She lifted up the middle of the blanket and said, "Look, people hands." She lifted up the top of the blanket and said, "Look, a people face." Kristen's mother picked up the baby and gave it a big hug. Her father took the baby and gave it a big hug. And her mother said, "Kristen, Kristen, you got the baby back. Good for you." "But what are we going to do with all these other babies?" yelled Kristen's father. "There's a seal baby in the bathtub, an alligator baby in the fish tank, and a gorilla baby hanging from the chandelier. We should take them back to the zoo." But Kristen looked out the window and said, "Uh-oh, who do you think's at the window?" "I don't think we'll have to do anything at all. All the mummies are coming to get their babies." And everything was okay until Kristen's mother had twins. Uh-oh, that means 2 more babies. What are they gonna do then? That's our book, that's our story. I'd like to say that I miss you all. I hope you guys are having fun at home and you had a great Easter. I miss you. I can't wait till we're back together at school and we can see each other again. But until then, I hope you're liking our videos and we'll see you next week. Bye, friends.